Hello everyone, best of the season to you and happy Easter celebration to all of the Christian faithful watching us right now. May the season strengthen your faith and belief. Talking about belief, well, tonight we're reading another federal lawmaker who dared to believe and who would now come to tell us about the outcome of the elections and how that has prepared him for the challenge of leadership and adequate representation. Of course, there will be that and more. I reckon I need to say this again, or as usual, my name is Nnamdi Odipo. We're live in Abuja, and this is The Mandate. My guest tonight is the member-elect for Yagba East, Yagba West, Mopo Muro Federal Constituency of Kogi State. Incidentally, he is also the current representative for the same federal constituency and Chairman House Committee on Customs. Honorable LEKE Abejide, welcome to The Mandate.
Thank you for having me.
You know, I listened to the argument you made during the campaigns. You argued for continuity in Yagba Federal Constituency. And I'm forced to ask if and how your re-election now re-energizes you as a leader and as a public servant. How exactly does it do that?
Thank you so much. Well, leadership is ordained by God. And also God has given us the grace to be able to prove ourselves. Leadership is how you prepare yourself. And in that my constituency, glory be to God, I have been able to prove that I can lead by good example. And that's what I have done for almost 4 years now. And the result is there. Maybe as we go on in this program,
give us an idea of some of the results.
And the results are there for you to see. When I came in, I said I'm going to do things differently from how it is right now. That I'm going to, change the narratives. Okay. And some people thought maybe it's a usual politician way of talking. And when I started, first of all, before I came in, a year before I came in, I first of all paid the wire fees for all public secondary schools.
I read about that somewhere.
That is a year, that was 2018. And people thought, when I said I'm going to pay, people said that's the way they talk. And I said, okay, since you don't want to believe, I will show you the example before going into the system. And when I was elected, I came back and I promised that I'm going to add the private secondary schools with it. And I added the private secondary schools. So in my constituency, right from that time, 5 years down the line, I paid for both private and public secondary schools. All of them. It has been like that. So if you have a child in school, when it is time to write work, you don't have to worry yourself because LEKE Abejide is there to take care. Then I also said during
I wish I was one of your constituents right now because I have two. Waiting to write work.
The person, you wouldn't have worried yourself. It will be a gift for you. Then I also equally said that I'm going to do two things. I'm going to do stomach infrastructure and then physical infrastructure. And people thought I was joking. And I started with the widows. I look at the widows in each community. We look at it compound by compound across the 71 communities in my federal constituency. And I make sure I give them clothing, I feed them, I give money. So to make sure they don't lack anything good. And that is why you see it's difficult for anybody to just come and just push me aside because they see me as God sent to them. And this I've been doing. Then when it comes to our hospitals, especially the general hospitals within, most of our people, they travel far as to Ekiti State, Ondo State, Kwara State to get medical attention because equipments are not there. And I focus on it in 2020 and make sure most of my budget goes for it. And today they are well equipped. Everything, anything you want to do, it will be difficult for you to travel out of my constituency. Then the young ones that are just leaving school, secondary school, they want to write JAM, they have to travel to Kenya, to Ondo State, far away from home. Even some parents have to travel with them. And I say, okay, this is not good for me. Being in the House of Representatives and representing them, I'm going to build a CBT of 350 capacity, and it has been built and accredited by JAM. So this is just little out of what you've done. Then when it comes to the issue of the roads, I have opened up nearly all the roads within my constituency. This I have done to the glory of God.
Interesting. Interesting. But you know, another interesting thing I noticed about your constituency is that I'm not sure if, well, maybe this is right or wrong, but you may need to correct me. But is this the first time that we're having a federal lawmaker, at the Federal House of Representatives, getting a second term? I think since 1999, we've had the PDP, clinched that same position almost like 3 times. And then we had one member who crossed over from ACN, then to the PDP. But then there is, this rotation arrangement in Yagba land for each local government to produce one lawmaker for 1 term each. Is your second coming or re-election not a negation or breach of that single term template for rotation for each local government in Yagba land?
First, let me just give you the narration. In 1999, the first person that went was Honorable Solaujo. And then our leaders that sat down and said, okay, you go first, this other person will go next. They didn't believe that something good can come out from there. They just thought maybe you just go there. Maybe when you spend 4 years, that's first term, then you have done your own bit. Another person will go. And this has been like that. I'm not the first that will go the second time.
Okay.
Honorable Sunday carried me, now Senator-elect for Kogi West. Went twice. And it's the person I took over from. And when I finished, even before I finished this, I have not finished this time, people have been agitating that I should just be there. I should continue to finish most of the programs I'm doing, which I believe, by the grace of God, by the time I will be finishing this second term, most of these projects must have been completed and new one will be established. If God say, I will go to higher office, more than this, so be it. But in terms of rotation, in the parliament, rotation does not even, there's no law guiding that. As long as you can perform, you can be there as long as possible. You can see this current Senate president has been in the National Assembly. He started from House of Rep, spent 2 terms. After the 2 terms, he has been in the Senate since then, and he has won his 7th term. So we also have somebody like that in the House, Honorable Nicholas Mutu from Delta State. He has won his 7th term. You know, it depends on your performance, because they are performing in their respective constituencies, so people did not want to lose them. Because if you lose your important person in terms of your quality legislator, maybe to replace him and get another person like him may be difficult. I think these are the fears. And normally, if we are doing turnover in the National Assembly, quality of legislation will be very low. And it will not help the system. Like now, we have so many people that are coming new. I'm just wondering, for example, a new person coming to replace Honorable Ndudi Elumelu, what is he going to bring home? It is when...
You never can tell until you give the person an opportunity.
I know what I'm saying.
Because that was the same opportunity you got in 2019, and now we can... Yagba people now say, oh, this newbie can deliver, and we'll bring him back.
I know what I'm saying.
Let's not speak for somebody else. Let's speak for you, that you're here.
He is performing, and what he will get as a ranking member and as a member of the leadership,
yes,
a new person can never get it, maybe in 10 years.
Well,
so this is what I'm saying. So the developmental project going on there will be stopped. So the people there will now feel, after 1 year, the person in the office, it is then they will now realize the mistake.
Well, the people, only the people, the electorate will decide, and they have decided. But you know, your election, since your election is the focus here, you know, also reinforces a popular aspect of democracy, which is the imperatives for ethnic and political minorities in the mass public. But then, you as a federal legislator, how does your contribution as a minority legislature or on a party platform like the ADC, you know, benefit Yagba people, more importantly, Nigerian politics?
I have just enumerated some of the things I have done.
No, I know. I heard you. I'm saying as a minority now.
No, when you come to the National Assembly, especially the House of Rep, I have not been to the Senate. Issue of minority or majority after the Speaker emerged does not play much role, because it depends on the person that is on the seat. What can you bring to the table? What quality contribution can you, make for the good of the country? Like me, anytime I have motion, or if not even me, even people in the PDP, because people will look at me as more or less like APC because I have working relationship with them. But even people in the PDP, whatever they need within the house, as long as it's going to benefit the country, nobody look at them as minority. Nobody look at me as a minority, because we are all working for the same goal, how we can make this country great. That is all about it. For example, there's a bill now which, God willing, this week may become law. I did it. It's my baby. The repeal and reenactment of Custom and Excise Management Act. It was last done in 1958. So this is going to be the first major reform in customs. And we did it. It passed first reading, second reading, committee stage, third reading, and went and passed to the villa. Okay. And President returned it, and we work on it. So nobody wants to know whether you are from this party. As long as you are in the house, we have the speaker has emerged, leadership have emerged. Okay. We work as a team. Party does not play any role anymore.
Okay. So I get that, but I needed to just establish that, okay, I mean, democracy throws up issues like these, you know, or angles, interesting and fascinating angles like these, and all of practices like this deepen our democratic culture. You know, I've listened to you even when you made allusions to returning and new members and quality of membership and all of that. You are returning now as a ranking member.
Of course.
And I'm sure you understand typically why a federal lawmaker, even as you've just said, must be vocally vibrant and analytically precise. Was that how you operated mostly with some of these bills that you've mentioned, of course, in the Ninth Assembly? Is that, are you hoping to improve on that and be a smooth or smoother operator in the 10th National Assembly?
Of course, yes, of course, yes. If you listen, or maybe you have watched my trend very well, you will see that I have moved a lot of motions. The recent one was when we were about to have the election and there was scarcity of petroleum products in the country. I was one that moved the motion that the saboteurs will be arrested. So, we being the first lawmaker, actually, when I came in new, it took us time to learn. So definitely anybody coming will take time to learn. It's not something that you come today and you know it today. So it takes time, and that's why we are talking about this, the rate of turnover of legislators. It will bring down the quality of legislation. Like me now, I have learned a lot, and it's not all. I still need to know more. There are people who have been there for the past, let's say, 24 years.
So experience definitely counts.
So the experience counts a lot. Let's say experience is the best master. Is it not the best teacher? So for people coming in, to even know the rules, it takes them time. To be able to know the constant, it takes them time. For them to know how the house works, it takes them time. Some may take them 3 years. And by that time, another cycle of election has come in.
So already you suspect there may be some initial challenges.
There's going to be initial challenges.
With the national, with the House of Reps. Sorry, let's focus on.
There's going to be, because actually we have experienced legislators around. People like us, we are returning, yes. But people, when you are teaching people, you are not going to sit down in the classroom and be teaching them and say, this is what to do, this is what. After the induction, which is like maybe, I think it's maybe 3 weeks or so, so what can you learn? You will not even know the system until when you come in. Because I went for induction, we had it, I was there throughout, but it's as if, when we started, it's as if I have not learned anything. I didn't know much until when I start attending plenaries, and then attending committee meetings, attending conferences, then I now knew, yes, this is how the job is done. And it took time before I was able to catch up very well.
You know, you've talked about some of the bills and motions you moved in the 9th National Assembly. In fact, like you just made us know, it's very likely that one will be passed either this week or next week. You know, so let's talk a bit about setting agenda for the 10th National Assembly. In the past, you're known to have said that you will be committed to pursuing policies that will guarantee easy life and secure the future for young people. Even though you referenced Yagba at the time, but Nigeria now is your constituency. You also did say you would improve the quality of education, you know, healthcare and other amenities, like you've also said that you would do for Yagba people, but Nigeria again is your constituency. So in setting agenda now for your participation in the 10th National Assembly, how strong is your confidence to succeed, especially with the new targets and the new agenda that you're setting to pursue in the 10th National Assembly?
Well, the major role of a legislator is to make quality laws for the good governance of the country. So that is first agenda that we have. Then working relationship with the executive arm of government to have all the projects and the budgets being passed as we have been doing for the past 4 years. These are the things that we can make the economy to what? Run and make it to function perfectly. I also want to believe that in the area of security, which this 9th National Assembly did well upon, there was a security summit in the House of Rep, and reports were submitted to the president. You know, when you look at the legislative arm of government alone, it's not complete. The ability to work together with the executive is what matters, so that whatever we pass in the House or in the Senate is being implemented. But if you pass a resolution and the resolution is not being implemented, and people will be saying, this House has not worked. So you should look towards executives, like so many bills have been passed now. Some of them have been assented to, but many have not been assented to. These are the things that we think in the 10th Assembly, the president-elect coming in as the president of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, being a senator himself, and the vice president-elect coming in as vice president of Nigeria,
tell me a bit
being
about.
a senator.
Yes, talk a bit about that more, and
they will understand the
yes.
system, and I think things will be better.
Oh, you think things will be better?
It will be better.
It does look like we have somewhat of a legislative government.
Even
now.
the first lady herself is a senator.
So that should make life easier for the legislators or for Nigerians.
Of course, because they will understand how people will feel. For example, you suffer for a bill, you start from the scratch, you do the first reading, second reading, you invited the public for public hearing, you spend a lot of millions, and people came, put their view, then you go back to the committee, you now look at those views, bring it back, configure it together, bring it to the plenary, they debated it. After serious debate, it passed, and then you now send it to the president. At the end of the day, such bill was returned. You feel weak. So with them, they will understand that yes, this is not how it's supposed to be done, and I think we will have a lot of things to do together and to make Nigeria
okay,
better.
so you've raised some issues that form some sort of agenda template. You've talked about pursuing or conclusively, let me insert the word conclusively, pursuing bills pending before or not that did not get assent. You talked about security as well and what you hope the National Assembly would do this time around. Let me ask you something about farmers in Yagba land complaining lately about the threat of food production owing to lack of access to government funding and headers conflict. Is this also not, or would this not be part of your legislative agenda as well, perhaps to come up or prefer solutions to resolve issues like that?
Well, we have one issue in my area now, and it has to do with a lot of, they call them Bororo, but they actually Fulani herdsmen who came from, we don't know where. They are disturbing our people in the farm. If not, that is my program, my first program, to ensure my people go into cultivation of produce that can be sold easily in the market, and for them to be able to be self-reliant like sesame seed, because I can help them, we make process and export. So these are the areas I started before.
Okay.
But when these Fulani people came, they disrupted the system. So I believe we'll have to find a solution to it.
Perfect. Wonderful. I'd like to, I mean, I've just been told now that we're out of time. Unfortunately, I wanted to get a commitment from you. I mean, as a public servant, and you know, public service comes with personal sacrifices, and you've said and talked about how much you've done, you know, from your side. And I just wanted to know, will you be pursuing this same level of personal sacrifices that you've done in the past? Yes or no?
Yes.
Fantastic. That's a commitment. We'll hold you to that, and I'm sure your constituents would also hold you to that. Honorable Leke Abejide, Yagwa East, Yagwa West,
and Mopa Moro.
Mopa Moro. Thank you so much for chipping that in. Federal Constituency of Kogi State. I'd like to thank you so much for coming on the mandate.
Thank you.
I'd like to wish you good luck as well. And of course, we will be monitoring you to see how you provide quality representation for your constituent. Thank you so much for coming on the program.
Thanks for having me. And good night.
And that's it tonight on The Mandate. Do join us same time tomorrow for yet another fresh episode of the program. My name is Nnamdi Odipo. Bye for now.